Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode on GenAI Vlog. So, have you ever get the experience of running a function on your Panda data frame for forever, right? Whatever function that you're running, it takes a long time and you're just sick of waiting, right? What if you are running some sort of chatbot or you're making some sort of API call to OpenAI, passing every sentence from every row from a data frame into the API call? You're gonna wait for forever. Right. So in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into this library called Pandarallel, and we're going to see how we can utilize Pandarallel as well as the multi-core design of the Colab GPU. So right in front of me, I have this line of code to install this library called Pandarallel. It's kind of like a nickname for Pandarallel, and that's the library you have to install. First things first, we want to import a couple of functions, and those are the functions that you want to import to help us for today's demo. And then the first thing to do is to initialize the Pandarallel library. So just by that, you can see that I have one worker. Now, if you have one worker, obviously, there's not so much of a difference. What you can do here is you change your runtime to TPU v2. And once you change this runtime to TPU v2, obviously you have to reinstall everything and continue from there. Now, I do this on purpose because I want to show you guys it is important to have multi-core in your system, and this is how you see it. Otherwise, the demo won't make much sense to you, and you cannot replicate it. So with that being said, now that we initialize the system and we see more than one worker that's working for us, now let's create a data frame just so we have something to work with. So here I have a data frame that's quite large, right? Here I have 1,000,000 rows, and then you have two columns, right? A and B. So that is what the data look like. Now, what if I have some sort of function? I want to go through every single row in this Panda data frame. Well, you're going to run a for loop or you're going to run some sort of apply function, and that's how things work, right? So for the sake of demo, let's define a function that we're going to use. You can take a plus b, right? Just do something very simple. And then we're going to define a function that use the conventional dot apply method in Panda. And there we go, just like that. We have this function that's defined to run this code df.apply. Now, of course, as a comparison, we also want to run the same function using parallel apply, right? So here's another function that I'm calling the method parallel apply. So that is the same apply, but it is using the Panda parallel library to execute the same function on more than one course. So we're doing parallel computing here. And I want to demonstrate you guys that this second function is, of course, running much faster than the first function. So here we have the function defined. And now what we're going to do is to physically run it. So we use the function timeIt to physically time how many milliseconds, how many seconds that it takes to use this function that we defined above. And then we're going to do the same thing for Panda parallel, right? So we have two times here, Panda time and the Panda parallel time. Now, in the end, obviously, you can print things out, right? You can print out how many times it is needed to run the two functions. So let's run that code, and you wait for a couple of seconds, and then in the end, you should be able to visualize the actual seconds needed to finish the two functions. And there you go, as we can see here, the first function use apply, and it takes 7.66 seconds, whereas the second function takes Panda parallel library. So we use a parallel apply function, and it takes less than a second for 1,000,000 rows. So hopefully this sheds some light of what do we mean by parallel computing, and then you can obviously see the power of it. So to make our life easier, we can do a simple bar plot, right? Get your method, get your execution times, do a bar plot, put some label up, put some title up, and then you run that code, it will give you the bar plot visualization that one method is running much faster than the other. This one is less than 1 second, whereas the Panda apply method, that's the old method, that takes more than 7 seconds. So thank you for watching, subscribe and like.